Hi everybody, thanks for watching our channel. If you like my content, please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. It's free and helps us to keep researching and posting these wonderful Mayan myths, tales, stories. Enjoy. Whispers of the past. In the dense jungles of ancient Mesoamerica, where the emerald canopies obscured the sky and the songs of the jungle wrapped around the heart like a forgotten lullaby, there lay the ruins of the once magnificent Mayan civilization. Though their temples and pyramids stood resilient against time, a darker history lingered in the shadows, a history woven with whispers, fears, and the enigma of powerful women who were labeled witches. The ancient city of TIKAl was nestled deep within this verdant world, a bustling center of trade, learning, and devotion. It shimmered with the vibrancy of life, yet beneath this facade simmered an undercurrent of fear concerning the ancient practices of the TIKAl, the serpent deity, the embodiment of wisdom and chaos. Many believed that the deeper one delved into the complex tapestry of their traditions, the more entwined they became with the presence of witches, women who wielded knowledge of the earth, its plants, and the dark arts. Among these women, one figure reigned supreme, a priestess known as TIKAl. With her piercing green eyes and hair like flowing obsidian, she was revered and reviled in equal measure. Those who followed her were known as the Kotsin, practitioners of the old ways, devoted to the earth and its spirits, even at the cost of their kin. The rituals of the Kotsin held strength and fear, drawing the attention of both the devout and the skeptical. Revered in ceremonies, they chanted to the stars and offered sacrifices to the gods to avert misfortune. Yet the whispers of the forest told another tale, one where these women conspired with dark forces, bending their magic to sow discord among the people. In a world where tradition and superstition walked hand in hand, fear shaped reality. TIKAl's rise to power came not merely from her skill but from a desire for vengeance. In her youth, she had witnessed the brutal razing of her village by rival tribes, their people hunted, captured, and sacrificed to appease their gods. Among the slaughtered was her family, their bodies discarded and forgotten. From that day on, the seed of vengeance festered within her, turning her grief into a potent brew of rage and desire for power. As she grew older, TIKAl became known for her proficiency with potions and the metaphysical arts, her talent capable of healing or destruction. However, as she sought revenge against those responsible for her family's demise, the lines blurred. The once gentle healer morphed into something far darker. With each incantation and potion, she struck deals with the forest spirits, spirits that hungered for blood and chaos, who demanded human sacrifices in exchange for their dark favors. One fateful night during the sacred festival of Bakabs, TIKAl gathered the Kotsin in a hidden grove at the edge of TIKAl. The air hummed with energy as they prepared to invoke the strongest spirits of the underworld. Torches flickered, casting long shadows over their determined faces. Beneath a waning moon, TIKAl announced her intentions. "Tonight, we reclaim our power," she cried, voice trembling with fervor. "We shall release the whispers of the shadows upon our enemies. No longer will we be mere vessels for others' wills. We shall become the storm that brings ruin." From that moment onwards, the forests whispered of TIKAl's malevolent transformations. Her followers, entranced by her promises of revenge, began committing unspeakable acts, turning on those who questioned or challenged them. They poisoned wells, cursed rival crops, and, when the hunger for power grew insatiable, it turned to sacrifices, human blood fueling their potent rituals. As months passed, TIKAl's prosperity began to wilt, its people caught in a web of misfortune. Crops failed at an alarming rate, sickness spread like wildfire, and the voices of despair filled the air. The Kotsin thrived on the chaos, reveling in the culmination of their dark magic. TIKAl descended into a place of tension, suspicion, and fear, where neighbors became enemies. In the heart of the turmoil, a defiant young woman stood against the tide. Xochitl, a once beloved storyteller of the village, possessed a keen understanding of the ancient myths and the gods who governed their lives. Her mother, a shaman, had warned her of the dangers of straying too far from the teachings of their ancestors, the whispers of a former time echoing in her mind. Xochitl felt a draw to confront the Kotsin and reveal the truth behind their deceptive grasp on power. With a heart forged from grief and determination, Xochitl ventured into the depths of the jungle. Guided by visions of her ancestors, she sought the heart of the forest, where the spirit of nature reigned supreme. It was said that only in the presence of the Great Mother could one discern truth from illusion. As Xochitl knelt before the sacred tree, its roots sprawling like ancient veins through the earth, the Great Mother appeared, her form shifting with the flickering light. You seek to end the darkness brought forth by TIKAl and her followers. Yes, Xochitl replied, her voice steady. There is a poison spreading through our land, and I ask for your guidance to bring back the balance. The spirit regarded Xochitl with a blend of sorrow and hope. To undo the wrongs, you must wield the light of truth. Expose the Kotsin, and their dark magic shall be stripped away as the morning sun dissolves the night. Armed with the wisdom of the ancients, Xochitl returned to TIKAl, where she confronted TIKAl at the sacred altar during the next moon phase. The air was thick with anticipation as villagers gathered, wary yet curious. Your power comes from the shadows, TIKAl, Xochitl declared, her voice ringing clear through the chaos. But the truth can banish darkness. The spirits have guided me, revealing your deceit. The suffering of our people will no longer be silenced by your wrath. Faced with the will of the people, the tide began to shift. Some members of the Kotsin, their faith wavered, began to step back, questioning the weight of their leader's commands. But TIKAl stood tall, anger radiating from her like a storm cloud ready to burst. Foolish girl, you know nothing of true power. She spat, yet deep down, an inkling of panic laced her voice, shattering her confidence. But the collective gasp from the villagers signaled the turning point. The floodgates of truth opened as Xochitl shared stories of the land's spirit, the importance of harmony, and the traditional ways of their ancestors. In her compelling narrative, she pulled from the heartstrings of the past, igniting a spark of tradition that TIKAl had so destructively strayed from. The crowd began to murmur, their fears slowly overwhelmed by a sense of hope, a yearning to restore their bygone values. As dawn broke over TIKAl, illuminating the altar in golden hues, the villagers united in chanting to the gods, asking for absolution for their misdeeds and healing for their land. In that moment, TIKAl realized she was losing her grip on power. The shadows curled and hissed around her as the spirits demanded their price for darkness. In her desperation, she invoked one last spell, a surge of energy aimed at wreaking havoc upon the gathered crowd. But in an instant, Xochitl summoned the Great Mother's breath, a wave of light that speared through the shadows, encasing TIKAl in a cocoon of brilliance. The dark power that had fed TIKAl's ambitions shattered before the collective force of truth and unity. With a shriek, TIKAl collapsed, her power fracturing like glass on stone. The anger dissipated, leaving only regret and a hollow echo of what once was. The village, transformed by their shared